The Assam oil paradox: where did the $3 billion go? Assam helps power India. It produces roughly 30 to 35 million barrels of oil every single year. It generates thousands of crores in petroleum revenue. And yet, there is a question nobody asks. If this land creates so much wealth, why doesn't more of that wealth stay here? Because after spending weeks tracing production numbers, digging through corporate disclosures, and translating Assam's own budget books, I found something striking. Assam may capture only 20% of the crude value extracted from its own soil. The rest? That's where the story begins. Welcome to Disclosure Lens. Most people assume the system is incredibly simple. Oil comes out of the ground, the government earns money, the local people benefit, it's a clean straight line. But that is not how resource economies work, because the value of a barrel of oil and what a producing state actually gets to keep in its treasury are not the same thing. And in Assam, that gap is staggering. To understand the illusion, we have to look at the extraction value versus the fiscal capture. And to do that, we have to follow the money. Let's open the books. Chapter 1. The value extracted. How much does Assam actually produce? Total state production hovers around 30 to 35 million barrels annually. At today's rates, that crude production represents over 27,000 crore rupees in gross value, or roughly 3 billion US dollars. But remember our rule, that is not royalty to Assam. That is value extracted. Chapter 2. The 20% reality. So what does Assam actually receive? Here is where the money trail gets fascinating. Look at this line item. Assam's budget estimates suggest just over 5,000 crore rupees in petroleum receipts for 2025 to 26. Do the math. That means the state captures approximately 20% of the crude value at the receipts stage. More than 3/4 of the wealth leaves the state. Break it down by the barrel. A barrel costs $100. Assam gets $20, 20%. Production cost $20, 20%. The center's share $60, 60%. In GST, the state and center split revenue 50-50, but in royalties and profit shares, the center takes 60. The remaining value sits locked across central taxes, corporate profits, and other fiscal channels. Chapter 3. The disclosure gap. But then, I found something even stranger, something that shouldn't happen in modern governance. Assam does not publish a single consolidated resource wealth statement. If you want to know what was extracted, what value was created, what the state captured, and where it was spent, you can't. The data is fragmented. It's buried in Major Head 0802. It's hidden in CAG finance accounts. It's scattered across OIL disclosures and outcome budgets, different documents, different definitions, different numbers. That is the real disclosure gap. It's an accounting maze that makes it impossible for the average citizen to track their own state's wealth. Imagine living beside an oil field. Massive pipelines pass directly behind your home. Heavy tankers destroy the roads you commute on. Yet your local school's roof leaks. The district hospital lacks specialists. Annual flood controls fail, washing away livelihoods. This is not just underdevelopment. This raises a fundamental question. If resource wealth exists right under your feet, why doesn't its impact show up proportionately above ground? And here is the kicker. Do the specific producing districts, the ones actually bearing the environmental and infrastructural burden of this extraction, even receive a defined guaranteed share of that 5,077 crore rupees? The budget doesn't clearly show it, because in this system, where wealth is produced is really where wealth returns. This investigation does not claim Assam gets nothing. That would be inaccurate. Assam appears to receive substantial petroleum income, but even by the government's own official numbers, the state captures only a fraction of the total value extracted. And because no single public document clearly reconciles extraction, payments, receipts, and outcomes, we are left in the dark. That is not transparency. That is fragmentation. And until that fragmentation changes, the ultimate question remains: when Assam produces wealth, who really gets to keep it? The system relies on you not reading the footnotes. It relies on the math being too boring and the documents being too long. But that's what we do here. If you want more investigations that ignore the political noise and follow the actual financial disclosures, hit the subscribe button right now. This is Disclosure Lens. See you in the next deep dive.